Hotep. This is Shakandugu Kemet. This video is called Mythical History and Archaeological Lies of Hebrew Israelites. Let's go.
Before I begin the presentation, I'm proving that there's historical, archaeology, and biblical Tanakh, or which you know as Old Testament facts of the enslavement and exodus of the Ibar Yasha'ala, or Hebrew Israelite people during 1446, 1447 BCE. Here it is right here. This is the images of the true Israelites. This is the name of the booklet. Images of the true Israelites. This is a picture of your northern Hamites. We know in Hebrew the word is pronounced kama, which only means what? Hot, heated. So those that were descendants of Ham would live in the hottest regions of the equator area. These are the descendants of Mitzrayim right here, or Maltazaryan. That's them. That's your Egyptians that started in the 3200, between 32 to 3100 BCE under Menes the First. I mean, isn't it clear? Look at the way they dress. Look at their hairstyles. Look how the Cushites dress. Look how the Egyptians dress. They are different people, from shades, from the genetic structure, from their hairstyle, from their culture, from their language, from everything.
It suits them because they are trying to say that the darker complexion is a Sudanese and then the one on the right is an Egyptian. But it's not the only place where they have shown the races of men as known to them, and Champollion actually talks about this in the letter to his brother. For example, there's the tomb of Ramesses III, and there's a German archaeologist called Lepsius who has made a drawing to depict that. Now, before I read it, I want to let you know that Sheikh Diop actually used that image for the cover of his book Nation et Agriculture, which is the French equivalent to African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality. Now, what is written says, this painting from the tomb of Ramesses III, 1200 BC, shows that the Egyptians saw themselves as black and painted themselves such without possible confusion with the Indo-Europeans, Caucasoids, or the Semites. It is a representation of the races in their most minute differences, which ensures the accuracy of the colors. Throughout their entire history, the Egyptians never entertained the fantasy of portraying themselves by types B or D. Now, A is the Egyptian seen by himself, black type, B is the Indo-European, C the other blacks in Africa, and D the Semite.
It was the Egyptians that constantly enslaved the Cushites. This is historical facts before before the Israelites were even in slavery. We're going to prove that as well. Evidence of Israelites in Egypt in the Middle East. Now, they say there's no archaeological evidence. Now, this is the seal. If Priest Benjamin can manifest a close-up of the name of Israel being mentioned during the time of Pharaoh Menaphet.
Some of you might have heard about a mention of Israel in an ancient Egyptian document. They are talking about the Merneptah stele, erroneously called the Israel stele. It's in Egypt, in the Cairo Museum. I'm going to show you the line, the part that they claim means Israel. But basically what it spells is Isri-ar, or Israel, okay, and that's how it's spelled most of the time, okay. And another thing that's important, the last symbols is a man and a woman, and underneath you have the 3 strokes for the plural. So that tells you that it's talking about people, not an actual place. You understand?
Now we at the Amarna Tel Elet. This right here clearly speaks about Joshua and the wars that we have with the Canaanites. Now you saying that all this stuff is made up. This is what you're saying.
When you get ready to get the home, okay.
When you actually look at this, it correlates with all the stories in the Old Testament. We're not just saying Joshua existed. We're going outside the Bible and showing archaeology to prove that they existed.
Nail in the coffin. I will show you where he gets all his information from. Type zaqen.info. You go into the 4th link. That's evidence of Israelites in Egypt and the Middle East. There you will see the stela that was mentioned earlier, and you will also notice that the information is in the same order that he is presenting it. Then we're getting into, if you scroll down, you will see the Amarna letters, and you will see that he's a blatant liar, because if you read the last sentence, it says, "It is believed they reflect the prevailing conditions that existed during the time Joshua carried on campaigns in Palestine. Aside from confirming certain biblical facts, they reveal the plan of Egyptian houses, thus throwing light on the early activities of Joseph in Egypt." So it starts by "it is believed." You understand what I'm saying? And you can read the whole text. You will see that there is no proof for Joshua. So that's a straight up lie. But when you're in front of groupies, you just present information, and because they have belief, which is not knowing, then they just feed with the crap, basically, you know. Instead of being fed with truth, they're only being fed by whatever, you know.
Look at this. Look at this right here. This right here is a Hebrew. This is a Hebrew from the region of Sinai.
It's about to get ugly. Go to the same address. This time you click on the first link, images of the true Israelites. You will see the picture that he's talking about. It doesn't say Israelite, it says Bedouin. And on top of that it says, originally Hebrews were of a high yellow complexion. I don't know how you go from high yellow to black. You can go the other way around, but never mind. Keep scrolling down. Now you're supposed to have some captives. The description says the captive in the center is definitely a Hebrew. Notice his hair is also in locks. The captive on the left is Hamitic. Now remember, in the beginning he was talking about the Egyptians. He said that they were Hamitic, that they were Hamites, and they had a lighter complexion. This time that guy has the dark complexion, but he's no longer a Cushite. This time he's Hamitic. You understand what I'm saying? And he says probably Libyan. You understand? So it's all twisted, and that's the thing that they use to lie to our people. Next, keep on scrolling down until you get to the picture that says dead and captive Israelites. And if you scroll further down, it says close up of dead Israelites. Now we're going to be past the nail in the coffin, past the burial. This time we reach in the morning. Okay, go into a search engine and type battlefield palette. Okay, now that's the one that I use. You look for the link to the British Museum, and then when you get there, that's what you will see. And look at the date, around 3150 BC. Now here's a quick breakdown. Israelite, it comes from Israel. Israel was Jacob. His name was changed by God, allegedly. Jacob is a descendant of Abraham. Abraham lived around 2000 BC. So there was no Israelites in 3000 BC. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, I intended to watch a presentation with 19 parts, but I only went as far as part 3. It's so much foolishness. I cannot waste my time anymore. My people stay with the truth, with the facts. Respect my art, respect Kemet and Africa. Hotep.